Okay, we're up to chapter 6 of The Power of Intention. It says, Intention and Infinity. A quote by Joseph Campbell. Eternity is not the hereafter. This is it. If you don't get it here, you won't get it anywhere. Please indulge me in a little exercise right here, right now. Put this book down and say out loud, I'm not from here. Say it out loud, I'm not from here. Let the meaning of the words be clear to you. The meaning is that you are in this world, but not of this world. You've been taught that who you are is a body with your name, made up of molecules, bones, tissues, oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. You know yourself as the person with your particular name, and you identify yourself as the person with the possessions and achievements that you've accumulated. This self also possesses some terrifying information. It knows that if it's lucky, it's destined to grow old, get sick, and lose everything that it's grown to love. Then it will die. Cheerful, eh? This is a shortened version of what the world has offered you, which probably leaves you mystified and flabbergasted at the absurdity of this thing we call life. Into this bleak picture, which inspires fear and even terror, I'd like to introduce a concept that will eliminate the terror. I want you to know that you needn't subscribe to the idea that you are only this collection of bones and tissues destined to be annihilated by an aging process. You've emerged from a universal field of creation that I've been calling intention. In a sense, this universal mind is totally impersonal. It's pure love, fondness, beauty, and creativity, always expanding and endlessly abundant. You emanated from this universal mind. And as I keep telling you, universal means everywhere and at all times. In other words, infinite. As long as your wishes are aligned with the forward movement of this everlasting principle, there's nothing in nature to restrict you from attaining the fulfillment of these wishes. It's only when you choose to allow ego to oppose the expanding, receptive forward movement of the infinite mind of intention that the realization of your wishes doesn't feel fulfilling. Life itself is eternal, and you spring from this infinite no thing called life. Your ability to connect to the external and live in the here and now will determine your staying connected to intention. Morning, Fiona. Hi, Jude. Hi, Georgie. Side heading, Life is Eternal. We all live on a stage where many infinites gather. Just take a look outside tonight and contemplate the infinity of space. There are stars so distant from you that they're measured in the distance that light travels in an earthly year. Beyond those stars that you can see are endless galaxies that stretch out into something we call eternity. Indeed, the space that you occupy is infinite. Its vastness is too huge for us to see. We're in an infinite, never-ending, never-beginning universe. Now pay attention to this next sentence. If life is infinite, then this is not life. Read that again. If life is infinite, then this is not life. Consider that life truly is infinite. We can see this in everything that we scrupulously observe. Therefore, we must conclude that life, in terms of our body, and all of its achievements and possessions, which without exception begins and ends in dust, isn't life itself. Grasping life's true essence could radically change your life for the better. This is an enormous inner shift that eliminates fear of death. How can you fear something that can't exist? And connects you permanently to the infinite source of creation that intends everything from the world of infinite spirit into a finite world. Learn to be comfortable with the concept of infinity and see yourself as an infinite being. while we're in this infinite world of beginnings and endings, while we're in this finite world of beginnings and endings, the power of intention maintains its infinite nature because it's eternal. Anything you experience as other than eternal is simply not life. It's an illusion created by your ego, which strives to maintain separateness, which strives to maintain a separate address and identify from its infinite source. The shift towards seeing yourself as an infinite spiritual being, having a human experience, rather than the reverse, that is, a human being having an occasional spiritual experience, is loaded with fear for most people. I urge you to look at those fears and face them directly now. The result will be a permanent connection to the abundance and receptivity of the universal source that intends all of creation into temporary form. Let's go back to that first sentence. Which was the sentence he says, put the book down. Hang on. Here we go. Right, let's get into our meditation, and I'm going to give you some bits of that as well with some more inspired stuff. So let's close our eyes and bring our awareness inwards. Noticing first this finite form of body that's had a birth and will have a death. And then aware as well of the space around the body. And that space that you're in, it doesn't end with the walls of the room. If you walked out the door, you'd be in a vaster space. So we've got the finite form. All forms are finite. They have a beginning and an end, a creation and a destruction. And then we've got the infinite things that are not things at all, like the space, like stillness, like silence. None of them are things, but they are infinite. Let's sit with that sentence. I am not from here. Very powerful. I'm not from here. You're here temporarily, identified with a finite form, but you're not from here. You're not of this world. You're in this world, but you're not of it. You're not from here. Really let that register this morning or this evening. I'm not from here. I am not of this world. I'm in this world. I'm in this 3D reality for a time. But I'm not of this world. I'm not from here. Let yourself reflect on how your parents gave you a name at birth. And that as you've gone through this experience that we call life, but isn't life, because life is eternal, but as you've gone through the experience of what we were taught to call life, as we've experienced the passage of time, we've reached certain conclusions about ourselves and about the nature of the reality. And we thought of all our possessions and achievements as belonging to a self. But all the self can do is grow old, get sick, and lose everything that it's grown to love. Then it dies. That's all quite absurd, really, isn't it? Quite mystifying. So we don't need to subscribe to the idea that we are this collection of bones and tissues, destined to be annihilated by age. Rather, we understand and appreciate that we've emerged from an invisible, unified, and universal field of creation that Wayne Dyer calls intention. Something intended you here, and you are a part of that intended you here. And that universal mind is pure love, fondness, beauty, creativity, always expanding and endlessly abundant. You emanated from universal mind. And universal means everywhere at all times. In other words, infinite. And the more your wishes are aligned with the forward movement of that everlasting principle, nothing in nature can restrict you from attaining the fulfillment of your wishes. It's only when you choose to allow ego to oppose the expanding, receptive forward movement of the infinite mind of intention that your wishes don't get realized or they don't feel fulfilling. Life, true life, is eternal. And you spring from this infinite no-thing. And what you're learning to do is to connect to the eternal, live in the here and now, and stay connected to intention. You have a body, but it is finite. There is birth and death. If life is infinite, then this body is not life. You as an invisible consciousness, you exist forever. And you as an invisible and infinite consciousness, you witness this form. You witness what it experiences. You witness physical sensations within the form. But you are not of here. You're in this three-dimensional reality, but you're not from here. Let yourself sit with that fundamental statement, I'm not from here, and see what else arises within you. I am not from here. I'm in this world, but I'm not of this world. I am not from here. I am in this world, but not of it. saying to yourself, I am not from here. I'm in this world, in this three-dimensional world of beginnings and endings, births and deaths, but I am not of this world. I am life, and I am eternal. And as you hold that awareness within you, become aware again of any sounds in the practice space or in the world beyond, noticing that all sounds have a beginning and an end. There's always a silence beneath the sounds. The sounds are finite, silence is eternal. Then let your mind go to objects in the room. Notice that all the objects have 3 dimensions, height, width and depth, and that they all exist in space, which is infinite. You could remove all the objects from the room that you're in, but you can't remove the space. The space will always be there. Even when the building you're in no longer exists, the space will still be there. Even when planet Earth no longer exists, the space will always be there. Now bring your awareness into your body, this finite form that your parents gave a name to, a label, that had a birth and will at some stage have a death. And really recognize the body's finite nature, and that you as an eternal being are able to look after this body so that it serves you well through your time here. And you are not from here. You're not of here. You're in this 3D experience, but it's not where you're from. And with that insight, open your eyes, seeing the space as well as the things. And again, affirming to yourself, I'm not from here. I'm experiencing this. I'm experiencing this world of form. I'm in it, but I'm not of it. Powerful teaching. Chapter 6. The Power of Intention, Wayne Dyer. Hope you enjoyed that one. Hope you got it. And I'll see you tomorrow for current meditation, working with the entities of light. Have a great day. Enjoying this reality you're not from. Bye.